What's up, guys? Day 3 of Performance Bootcamp. So what our focus is, well, I'll go ahead and tell you this entire week are working on your small intrinsic muscles, working on balance and stability of the joints, especially to learn how to move and control your body, but also to protect your body and protect your joints and protect you from injuries. Today, we're putting a little bit more focus on the balance side of things. I'm a big believer you cannot move fast and explosive well if you are not able to move slow and controlled. You need to learn how to move and control your body. With that being said, it takes time and it takes practice. So day 3, we're working on practicing these things. Also, I want you to practice them some on your own. Today, we're going to start out, first things first, sprinters. We're going to knock out 3 exercises on one side, 3 exercises on the other, and then a 4th one to get the heart rate up and a little bit more power moving side to side. For our first one, sprinters, switch legs for me first. Start going relatively slow. So this angle right here, she has a bend in her knees, a hinge in her hip, and her spine is straight. If we're teaching you anything, I want you to move with a straight spine while we are training. Now go fast for me. For the first exercise, you're going to go fast on sprinters for 30 seconds, striking that back foot in the same spot on the ground each and every time. Weight stays in the heel, engage your upper back, engage your core. Now 20 seconds slow, your balance should be challenged on this one. Your heart rate's coming down a little bit, is getting ready for 20 seconds fast pace again. So 20 fast, 20 slow, 20 seconds fast again. We're going seconds for each and every one of these. Your elbow runs towards your knees. Some people are going to get bad rhythm and get all thrown off with balance. Elbow comes towards your knees and you're not rounding through that low back. Keep your back straight. You're standing on your left leg, correct? We're going to stay standing on your left leg. Number 2 are reachers. 40 seconds, same position. Bend in the knee, hinge to the hip. She's not tucking her hips under. She's pointing her hips back, reaching one arm out at a time. Notice she's looking straight towards the ground as she's engaging her upper back. To make it a little bit more challenging, you can look at that hand as it opens up. Real quick tip. Pause for a second. 3 things that are going to help you mainly with balance. Your upper back, your core engagement. If I'm loose here, then I'm falling all over the place. If I'm tight, I'm going to be more stable. Same thing for your upper back. And then your focus. If I'm staring at one thing on the ground that's not going to move, my whole body is going to be kind of focused around that one thing, and you're going to hold better stability. If it's on the ground, it's a little bit easier. If it's higher up towards the sky, it's a whole lot harder, okay? There's your helpful tip for balance. And then exercise number 3 on that same leg, single leg deadlift. Hinging at the hip and extending your hips, plus a little high knee on this moving leg. Hold on to something if you need to, okay? I'm going to make it hard. Hips in line with each other, shoulders in line with each other. Now open up a little bit. Now, all right, we don't want an arched spine. Now turn your toes outwards. If your toes are turned outwards, your hips are likely opening up. So you want those back toes turned towards the ground. As you stand up, stand all the way up, hit that high knee, pause there. Abs are tight. Actually, go back again. So, pause, make it hard. Hamstrings and glutes on that standing leg are getting a stretch, continue down, are getting a stretch on the way down. Now go all the way down. That movement's now coming through her spine. No bueno, we don't want it. We want your spine straight. Now the hamstrings and glutes, they contract on the way up. So that's what our focus is, stretching those muscles, contracting those muscles on the way up. Your toes grip the ground. I encourage you to try these barefoot. So you have 1, 2, 3. You have your sprinters, your reachers, and your single leg deadlifts. And then number 4, after you've hit those on each side, high knee heisman, pause on each side. So to the side, pause, 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. Covering up distance side to side. Now you're a little bit more mobile, which is more real life. And then we're asking you to pause and control your body. Set number 1, 2 times through. First exercise was 20 fast, 20 slow, 20 fast. The second exercise was 40 seconds on. The third one was 40 seconds on. And then that last one was 40 seconds on as well. Set number 2, down on tabletop position, shoulders over your wrists. We're going bird dogs. We're working one side, but they're opposite sides. So right with your left are reaching front to back, and they slowly come on in. Stay with those same 2 limbs, out and in. Notice they're not touching at the bottom, and she's not arching. Lift up tall. It's not about the lift. It's not about the lift. Instead, keep a neutral spine. Abs are tight. Your hips are straight in line with your spine, not tilted. We're worried about the reach. How far can we get from one side to the other? Number 2 of that same set, you'll just do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll move on to plank openers. So I want to plank on your wrist or elbow, whichever you prefer. Feet are about shoulder width apart, and we're opening up from one side. Hips initiate the rotation, control it down, and open up towards the other. Hips and spine stay in a good line. You're rotating towards the side of your feet. Slow motion for this one. And then number 3, you'll be up to your feet, seesaw lunges. Again, one side, and then we'll do the other side. So one foot is planted. Let's say your left foot's planted. Right leg lunges forward, and then right leg lunges backwards. She's only touching the lunge in front, and then the lunge in behind. Shoulders over hips, hips over that back knee, whichever that knee is. So just to recap this section, bird dogs on one side, you'll hit the other. You have plank openers. You're getting both sides on the plank openers. And then number 3, we have the seesaw lunges, one side and then the other. 2 rounds through at 40 seconds each. Set number 3, hover reachers. So before we get to hover reachers, I want to talk about the function of the core. Core helps you to crunch, it helps you to sit up, but we don't want to live in spinal flexion all day. So a lot of what we do to train the core are stability exercises. Your core, your abs in particular, help to stabilize the hips and to stabilize the spine. So that's what we're doing for our hover hold reachers. Tabletop position, knees hovering off the ground, that's where we get that name, and then reaching just one arm forward at a time, creating as little movement as possible to your hips. That's going to be one of the hardest parts. Open up your hips, show them what's natural, what kids are going to do. You're going to open. You're going to open. Well, now your low back is firing up a little bit more. We're focused on the abs, not the low back for the beginning of this set number 3. Number 2, lateral lunge to high knee, all on one side. Lateral lunge like we did on the first day, but we have a little bit more quickness on that way up, and we're holding that balance at the top for just half a second. So again, we're moving, and then we ask you to stop. You'll do it on one side, you'll do it on the other. And then last but not least, I'm going to have you on your back again, scissor kicks. We're training stability, right? Scissor kicks, the whole purpose is to stabilize your hips and your spine, keeping your abs tight, your belly button pushed down towards the ground, moving through the hip joints without your hips moving. Stabilizing the hips, stabilizing the spine, core should kick in. So 3 exercises there, hover hold reachers, lateral lunge plus high knee, one side and then the other, and then work on these scissor kicks. Cool? That's our day 3, working on stability, working on core a little bit more, learning how to control your body.